And away we go. It is the BCJ podcast brought to you by the Holy Grail. Guess what? The Reds are fun. You can go to the Holy Grail, actually go to a baseball game and enjoy yourself now. So why don't you get downtown, stop by, see our good friends at the Holy Grail before and after the game, a game that you actually go to now because people want to go to the games. Get yourself a nice cold beverage, some great food, and have a great time at the banks supporting the folks that have always supported Bearcat Journal. All right, here we go. Big show tonight. There we go. There's the crew. As the Nasty Natty schedule release came out today, the bracket is out for the basketball tournament, the TBT. The guys are all getting ready for another run at a championship in this tournament, and wanted to have them on tonight and get things kind of officially kicked off as we roll towards a little bit later start this year. Late July this time. So mark your calendars. What, the 21st?
21st, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
And is there going to be an alumni game again? UC and Xavier, do you know? Have you heard?
We haven't officially put it together, man. We might take it easy this year and focus actually on the TBT game, the game that counts. And then if we do what we're supposed to do, we might have a crosstown collab anyway.
If you guys if you each win the first game, there's a second round meeting at the Cintas Center.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the big show. Might as well not give a preview. Might as well just step into the real thing.
So we've got Kevin Johnson, Troy Copain, Shaq Thomas. Might have a couple others jumping in as we go through. But Kevin, give us the rundown. What's the roster look like for this year?
We brought pretty much our whole returning lineup is back. I do got bad news to share, man. Octavius Ellis took a summer deal and went over to China. So he won't be joining us this year, even though he was officially on the team. But outside of man, we got Jaron Cumberland coming back, Jacob Evans back, Coriante DeBerry back, Keith Williams. We added Keith. That's a new addition there, another athletic wing, as we know, can do it all. We got Shaq Thomas back, and Trayvon Scott was on the team last year, but we didn't get to see him perform. But as we know, we'll get to see him perform this year. And then we got Troy Copain running it back, and got some others on the back end that we brought on. An old member of ours, Deshaun Mormon, played 13 to 15, and I'm working on solidifying things with Hayden Koval to fill in that center spot to complete our team this year.
There you go.
Oh, and I got to shout it out. We definitely brought Cashman right on to lead the way for us this year. So that's a new change as well.
And Cash is going to be the coach?
Yep, head coach.
Well, he's big time now, huh?
He doing his thing. Cash actually, leading a nice high school program here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Clark Montessori. So one thing I know about Cash, like when I thought about it this coming year, it had to be a guy that the Cavs related to, a guy that's actively coaching. Obviously, he played the point guard position, so very smart on the court, know what it take to win. He was a winner, been a winner his whole career, and somebody I know they all can adapt to. So we welcome him. We're happy to have him this year as a coach.
Troy, what are you up to now? Where's the world taking you?
Nowhere right now.
You still in Turkey with your team?
No, I was in Italy last year.
Or Italy, yeah.
That was a long season. A lot of ups and downs. I went through something that brought me down, but I'm back. I went through a little injury this year. But besides that, we still finished strong. Mentally was playing well. And then excited for next year. Get a nice little summer, little break. Got to get prepared for this TBT, and then after that, it's back to work.
Hanging out with moms in New York, huh?
Yeah, of course.
She would have been the star of this show. I'm surprised she ain't hanging out.
Nah, she's not hanging out right now. We got some family things going on right now, taking care of that. But when the times come, you'll know when she'll be there, high spirited, a lot of energy, same old, same old.
Always. Shaq, what's up, man? What are you up to?
Not much, man. Just been gearing up for the TBT. This past year I played in the Middle East until like January, and then I ended up finishing up in Mexico for the last like 3.5 months, 2.5 months. And I just been home since then, and just been working and and stuff like that, working out and just staying in shape and stuff. So, just gearing up and just getting ready for the TBT this summer.
Where were you at in Mexico?
I was right across the border, so right next to like El Paso, right there.
Okay. We were gonna see if you were smart. Found a beach town.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I was, but it was pretty cool because I was right there, about 15 minutes across the border. So it wasn't too bad. I could cross the border, go to the States for if I need anything or anything like that. So it was pretty dope.
Kev, what's the experience been like now that you have a year under your belt and you kind of know what to expect? Has it been a lot easier?
I mean, it's a couple angles. It's a couple angles for me. I mean, we laid a foundation last year. The biggest thing is experience, Chad. As you know, a lot of the guys, we watch it, but it's different when you're in it. And I think it was just a learning experience. It was a fun learning experience. Obviously, we got to do it together. We lost first round. That didn't taste well with us. If you know any of us, we so used to winning that losing to definitely motivate you. But overall, I mean, it was just the full blown experience. How serious you got to take it. How well prepared you got to be. And then as a GM, for me, obviously a lot of fundraising and networking and continue to build the brand itself. I'm just getting craftier and better at it, and I think the support is growing. They starting to see that. I think this is a dope opportunity. When I look at like 5 years ahead, like a really cool opportunity to be able to bring back former players. It gives us a reason to kind of come back home, support a cause. So I'm trying to build this thing out where we taking this all the way up to the legends, be able to get Kenyon Martin to rep this thing, all the way up into the new age players. So, Chad, this is getting better, man. Better with time, like anything else.
Dave?
Take us kind of behind the scenes of what goes into putting the team together, getting into the tournament. You guys were in it last year. Do you automatically get back in this year? Do you, are there other teams is there a committee that's kind of deciding who's in and how does that whole process work?
Well, we blessed to have a team full of professional basketball players. So, Dave, that's number one. Got to have some talent like anything else. But, this is a business. So TBT is ran just like a business like anything else. You want talent. You want things that make sense as far as marketing and selling tickets. When you represent the University of Cincinnati basketball program, that's history. So that sells itself. And then you get guys, like Troy and Shaq and Jaren and Ock, guys actively playing. And we just so happen to all align and play with each other at some point in time. But pretty much last year was that foundational piece, Dave. This year was more like, obviously, if the guys committed, we automatically got to have at least 7 alumni to be considered an alumni team. So you do get 12 roster spots. You get a chance to build that roster of 5. That can be whatever you want it to be, but we wanted to represent Cincinnati. We like the connection. We all wore Bearcats across our chest. So that made it easy. And then just like anything else from a GM standpoint, man, you're looking for, for me, I love interchangeable guards. I mean, I played with half of these dudes. I might have played with everybody on this team at some point.
Except Keith.
All of us are very interchangeable. Yeah. Got good size, good skill. And then we all align with certain principles that we all learned back, in our times together. So you just put the pieces of the puzzle together, man. But tell you one thing, Dave, they still got to go out and play. So we still learning along the way, man. And until we win one, we always trying to get better.
Is that all you got, Dave? You good for now?
No, I got more. I'm interested to know. Well, Troy, as an Italian, I want to know where Troy was in Italy and if he liked it.
I was in Brescia, Italy, right outside of Milan. Probably about 50 minutes.
You get in on the fashion in Milan?
A little bit.
A little bit.
But the sewing and the knitting is too high and tight for me. Shoulders be a little tight.
Yeah.
Thighs
You're
a
saying
little tight.
you're not into the European cut?
No.
Nah.
But the food is amazing though. I will say that. It's very authentic. A lot of pasta, a lot of homemade red sauce, ragu,
Yeah.
carbonara. I'm a big fan of. Fresh out
Big
the
carbonara
pot.
guy.
Yeah. It was a great experience for me for my first time in Italy. I enjoyed it. The people are nice. They're very in my town, very welcoming with open arms, very dog friendly. And they supported us throughout it all. So big fan of Brescia. I'm a big fan of Italy.
You learn any
For the
Italian?
both of you guys,
I
just
know
like
a
what
little
is? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I know the basics.
Ciao.
Yeah, that. You know what I'm saying?
In one of these.
Yeah. Little stuff.
But for Czech and Troy, just kind of like your impressions of international basketball for fans that aren't, exactly up on it. What's that experience been like moving away from the States and playing ball in different countries?
For me personally, it's always ups and downs with coming overseas. You be away from your family, your friends, your loved ones, if you have kids, and different things like that. But it's positives, and you're obviously making a living for yourself. You get to experience different cultures and different things like that, different food, see different parts of the world. So it's a lot of pros and cons to it, but it definitely been a great experience for me. I'm 9 years in being a professional. A lot of people can't say that, so I'm grateful for that. And it's been a great experience for me. I got to see, I've been to the Middle East, I've been to Europe, I've been to South America, I've been to a lot of places. So I don't think, I would regularly travel there, these places, and been to like Jordan and different places like that I never thought I would ever be if it wasn't for basketball. So it definitely been a great experience for me.
With me, I enjoy it over there. It's a whole different life. I'm real big on figuring it out, and I think that's the biggest thing for me is going into a brand new country, not knowing a thing about languages, the food, what to do, and then by the end of the year, having figured it out, being able to speak to people, being able to hold conversations, just being like Shaq said, to experience their culture. It's their own world, and you have to fit in because we are considered the outliers to them. And then on the court, it's like a different fan base. They support their town. Fans come and show support. They show love, very faithful. It's the same feeling of a soccer game, a European soccer game. They come with the horns, they constantly screaming, sellout crowds. It's very good to know that, or heartwarming, I guess, to know that you are secure and safe in another area, and to enjoy yourself and make it the best time. And then when you come home, you have something to talk about.
The European games are they're like a party, right? Like it's not like a basketball game. It's a whole different experience.
Yeah, constant yelling, constant horns. When the refs make a bad call, they own you. Certain areas, if the home team loses, they start throwing things, lighters, water bottles, security guards all over the joint. It's great.
Same thing happened to me when I was in Portugal, bro. It was going crazy.
Yeah.
Did you get into soccer a little bit over there? Or were you already into it?
I went to 2 games. I went to Brescia. They are a 2 team, but they had some great games. And then I went to the Inter Milan game when they played Napoli, and that was a big game. And yeah, that was fire.
Yeah.
Natalie wants to know what kind of dog you got.
I got Rottweiler.
Yeah, he got a big dog.
Her name's
Big.
Yeah. That dog came from Germany for real.
100%. She really foreign.
She really German.
Do you have to speak German to the dog?
When I was in Germany, I got her towards the end of the season. And I knew a lot of commands in German. And we kind of lost that. I probably go about two now. But when I went to Turkey, yeah, that's no.
Yeah.
When I went to Turkey, during the COVID year, they wasn't flying dogs over 100 pounds. So she ended up staying with my mom that year, and we didn't keep up that. We started changing over to English immediately.
Dogs over 100 pounds. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That just sounds crazy.
How big? 120?
Yeah, at the time she was 120. Now she's about 115.
Put her on a diet.
She is on a diet. She eats only dog food. We go on long walks. She swims. All of that.
Like a human. Like,
Yeah, all of that.
Ed wants to know your favorite soccer player.
Messi.
You know he's coming here, right?
Yeah, Miami.
They play here in August.
Oh, that's fire. They play FC.
FC,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
FC playing.
when?
Too. We look good.
That's
What's
fire.
that?
That's gonna sell out. That's gonna sell out.
Oh, it's gonna be chaos.
Yeah,
The
that's
state
gonna
that
go crazy.
stadium's only like 26,000.
Uh-huh.
Wow,
So
yeah.
it's gonna be insanity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be
I think tickets are only like $50 each too. Like and people were still complaining about that. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's not
When
a
we get to
bad
the
seat in
secondary
there.
market,
You haven't been
they're
in there.
gonna
It's
be
not a
like
bad seat
300.
in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave?
So when you guys get back together in town here, getting ready for the tournament, what is Coach Cash gonna, what's the first couple practices gonna be like? Is he gonna be a drill sergeant and you guys are just gonna laugh at him, or what kind of vibe does he give off as a coach?
I wish he could answer that.
I know.
Sure.
I'd like.
Yeah. I mean, I'll speak up for him. I mean, when you dealing with some high level basketball players, I mean, the main thing is us figuring out, rotations, what works, what strengths, and what's our weaknesses with certain lineups. For me, last year, you don't pay attention to it, but you got to put in rules. We switching pick and roll, we hedging them, and really start breaking down some of the key points of being on the same page. Obviously, we got a short amount of time. So you try to put the pieces of the puzzle. You try to find some scrimmages. But I think overall, man, Cash will come in with a solid plan. A lot of our job that we focus on the back ends is the Elam ending, figuring out, the best ways to go about it. When you're down, when you're up, how many possessions you want to go into it, when you want to use the first time out. I mean, to be honest, man, they should play easy basketball, man. When you got some talent, Dave, you shouldn't have to coach it too much, man. You just inside-out basketball, a little dribble drive, some pick and roll, share it, play some defense. The biggest thing is us playing defense. I think we got the ability to be a really good defensive team. Definitely, I think that could be a strength when you don't have that much time to practice. But I think we got the ability, on a perimeter and on the interior to be pretty solid defensively. We just got to put that together. So we also got, assistant coach Kane Broom. So Cash not by itself. We brought on Kevin Eisenberger. That also was a part of the UC staff. So Cash got a good little committee with them. They'll put their heads together and come up with what works best, man.
Do you know much about your first opponent?
I do. Shoot,
That's your crew, right? Like,
Yeah.
The Floyd Mayweather
Cincinnati
team.
also, right?
What'd you say?
They're from Cincinnati also, right? Isn't that who Justin played with last year?
Well, truly, I mean, Jordan Crawford is.
Yeah.
Now they got a Xavier Munford. I think he's from Jersey. I mean, they got Trevor Booker. I don't even know where he's from, but we know he ain't from here. Normally, Jimmy Fredette play on the team. Corey Davis. I mean, normally it's a star-studded team. They go get high-level pros, ex-NBA players. So truly, I don't even see a full roster of them, but they normally bring similar people back. So we know Jordan Crawford, the short guard from Cincinnati, killer. But from that, we'll go back. We got all the games from last year. We'll go back and see. I mean, to me, from the past, TMT got so much talent. They just put the ball in the basket. Sometimes it's simple as said. We got to defend and match that offensive firepower. We'll be fine, man. That's pretty much what I do know. Dave, you don't get a lot of time to prep.
No.
This ain't like a good college game where you can watch a whole bunch of film. Sometimes you don't even know who's showing up to play. So, but they got some key guys, man. Obviously, some good guards. They'll have an ex-NBA player that knows some stuff. But when I look at the matchup around any team, I mean, we got the pieces. We just we got to just compete. That's it. Compete and prepare, man. That's all you can worry about.
Word for the summer is accountability.
Yeah, true. That's a fact.
That's all it is. From the player side, we got to be accountable.
I like it.
Is that what you guys learned last year? That like maybe you had a little bit too much of a not light take, but like you're going in and playing against other pros. Like it's a business event, not a player reunion in Cincinnati. Maybe
not a summer league game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
What else do you take away from last year? Like what are some of the things
Just
that
gotta
you'll
be
do different this time?
None. Really, we got a lot of good work in. We played a lot of games. We ran up and down a lot of times.
Yeah.
We just took it lightly. That's nothing more, nothing less. We thought we was gonna go in and they was gonna lay down, just off the name, and they didn't. It came to a battle. That's why the word this year is accountable. We got to be accountable. We got to know what we're doing. We got to know the main goal and the things it takes to get. You got to win the first one. Once you get to the first one, then you can a little bit. Everybody's all everybody's all tight. Like da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
We do the things right, prepare well, and then at the end of the day, you got to go out and hoop. But it's a serious level of hoop.
Did it feel kind of gross playing in that place?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah, they gonna Bob hoses.
I ain't gonna say nothing about that.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a great facility, Chad, but I ain't won there yet, man. That is cursed. I ain't lying. Even I took my high school team over there playing the shootout. Man, we got blew out on the main court. I'm like, I can't buy it. It's just bad luck. I promise. We got to get this thing. That's another. We got to get this thing to Fifth Third, man, because
we got to win.
It's a curse over there.
We win, it'll get there. We got to win.
Just bad vibes.
No, great.
It do, don't it? It sent bad vibes, Dave. But we're gonna break a curse, man. It's gonna be a good one too. We got a good matchup to do it.
I mean, some UC team is due to win there at some point. It may as well be you guys.
Man. Let's start something new.
Well, yeah, maybe if you guys take the lid off of it, then
that's it.
The gates
is start trickling down. That's how.
Yeah.
Tilt the cup a little bit.
So I know Kevin's familiar, so this isn't a question really for him, but for Troy and Jack, how much have you guys gotten to talk to Coach Miller? What are your impressions of him as coach, and kind of where you've seen the team recently go since you guys have been graduated and moved on?
I got to meet him last summer. He seemed like a real good dude. I think the program is on the up and up. Is getting back to that level, and he seemed like a real good coach. Young coach, and I think the program is in good hands with him. Moving forward, and being a new conference, new. They're going back to Jordan. I'm kind of mad about that. I couldn't wear Jordan back in the day, but it is what it is, though. But I definitely think. Program is definitely in good hands with him, and I definitely see they got good players and a couple of transfer players and stuff like that. So I definitely think the program in good hands with him.
For me, Coach Miller is a good guy. We speak face to face in the summer. We haven't really spoke outside. What's this?
The new Jordan practice jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Do they got numbers on the back?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you just mentioned the Jordan practice jersey or the Jordan coming back. I just thought I'd throw the practice jerseys up the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I seen this today. I was wondering if they had numbers on them, or if they just gave them just on some mock. Like there might be some mock jerseys.
I'm assuming just mock.
There might not even be the official ones.
I know they're Jordan now. It's unlimited clothing.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Yeah,
what?
Them just like the Jason Tatum.
Yeah, the shoes hard.
Yeah, they've been messing with the Tatums and the Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire though.
But before he watches this, I'm still want to say that he is a great guy. He comes from winning caliber, and that's all that really matters. He's bringing the right people in. He got a nice core that came back. And he knows his stuff. He knows X's and O's. He prepares well. Very smart, intelligent guy. I think the program is going to do well. I think the new transfer to the Big 12, we believe in him. We know that we believe in him, and we can't. If things start south, or if anything, we can't say, oh, the same energy that we have for him now is the same energy that we need to have for him all season and the rest of the years.
And KJ, for you, like, what do you think? You see the team a lot more. What are your thoughts on kind of where things are going from this past season to this first year in the Big 12?
What I'll say for real, Dave, is like it's a ton of pieces. I think they got like 14 players. I mean, it's tons of pieces, man. It's different, Dave, because you're getting a lot of transfers. So, we come from a time where you come young, you build up, so that culture and that foundation is instilled within the whole program. When you got the transfers, like you basically just putting the pieces to the puzzle together, who's gonna get the win. So it's just a little different from this perspective. What I will say is I like the Simi or whatever his name is, the guard from Butler, big strong body.
Yeah,
Seamus
could put it on the floor from the wing spot going into the Big 12. It's physical. I think he is a very needed piece. And then you add extreme sharpshooters. He can shoot the ball. You add C.J. Frederick on the wing. Then you got Newman back as defense. Like, then you got 4 different centers you can rotate. Like, it's a lot of pieces, but it's only one ball and it's only 40 minutes. So, I'm interested to see. This is why I like to watch, coaches and what they do and how they figure this out. Is how you put the pieces to the puzzle. I think we got some pieces. Like, I know we got some pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you even got young pieces like Rayvon and Eldrin who looked apart right away to me. But you know how I go, man. We got to see this it's a long journey, man.
Yeah.
But they got some pieces. Like, it looks apart. Size, ability, speed, strength. It's all there now. Just gotta lay that foundation down and figure out what worked best.
You don't call him Jizzle. You don't call him Jizzle. He's got to earn that.
Yeah, Eldrin. You gotta show
head coach now, Chad. You call people by their real names,
right?
But I like him though. Don't get it twisted. Hey, I like you. You watch it. I like you. I'm glad you a Bearcat, young fella. I'll be calling in a few years, man. Just we're gonna stay tapped in.
I mean, when you look at him, he looked like a running back, doesn't he?
He do, like, physically just built already for this.
I told
him. This was like, I think he was
About
only there a week.
6'1".
And I had asked him, I'm like, you been lifting? He like, really? I ain't even been lifting. I really just got here. And his body was already filled out. So, he be all right. Watched him play, open gym, some abilities, man. They got a lot of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what people are going to want to hear from you now if you watched Open Gym.
Yeah.
They want to hear about everybody.
Yeah, look. They ain't gonna get it out of me. I'm just there to soak it in. I'm quiet. I don't want nothing leaked. It's not my fault. Don't blame me.
Jamil's a big dude, isn't he?
Nah, it's a big boy. I mean, when I was calling games last year, for Temple, we had no answer for him. We had zero answer for him. If he was in a better shape, he probably would have 40. But I like him. I like the kid from Utah State. Like, it's all interchangeable. That's why I'm interested to see, how you put the pieces of the puzzle together. Because all bigs are different. You got a big body skill when they can shoot. You got one that just really is rim protected but dunk everything. You got another one at Vic that's been there, a vet. We saw what Vic can do when he held. He missed the double-double pretty much. So, I'm pieces, man. Pieces, but you got to put the puzzle together. So it's better to have some talent than not have none. I mean, he good in that aspect.
Day was good.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. You? Long time.
Yeah, doing pretty good, man.
Whoa.
Well, sorry. My bad.
Easy, Dave. Easy. Dave's just taking over the whole show. What you been up to, Day? Catch us up. How you been?
Nothing much, man. I just been chilling. I actually just got back from Africa a couple weeks ago, playing in the basketball Rwanda League. Other than that, man, sticking with the family guy, still getting acclimated to this fatherhood thing. So, just staying up to date with everything.
It doesn't get easier. Mine's 12.
That's bad advice, dog.
Yeah.
That was depressing as hell, Chad. Like, it just doesn't get easier.
Yeah. Only
trying to spend all my money every day.
Yeah.
She's got the same line every day I come home. There's a new Amazon package at the house.
That sound about right.
She tries to. You said I could. No. But it's fun sometimes. You guys would have loved it. I just did my first AAU volleyball nationals this week in Orlando.
What's that?
Daughter played?
Yeah, she played. They were all right. They went 4-6. They had one really bad day, one really good day. Kind of evened out between then. The bad day, they played a team from Houston that finished second in the tournament. 12 and under, they had a girl that was 6'2".
Yeah.
Dang. That's crazy.
That good down south living right
We'll be seeing her somewhere here soon.
Yeah.
Oh, her dad was
some good little spikes.
Her dad was 7 foot, and her brother was 16, and he was 6'10".
Oh yeah.
Like,
wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she definitely got great genes.
Okay,
right
Genes right there.
Yeah.
I mean, these are Kelsey's team's got normal size 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
5'3", 5'4". Then this girl's up above the net, like
Yeah. Right to their face.
That's tough.
But it was good. It was a good experience for the kids.
That's good. Yeah, that's what make them better, though. You need to see that.
I mean, I'm sure you guys remember you go to that first big tournament when you're little, and you're like, oh, I got work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the goosebumps.
That's the best part about it.
I remember watching all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time
that's
ago.
when you find out your true talent. You got to put in a little bit more work, or if you one of them ones.
It was a long time ago, Shaq.
Not that long ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah, 7 for
when
me.
you were playing AAU?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. That's
about 12.
Yeah,
About 12.
It was a long time ago.
About what?
I'm thinking back to Kev. Like, I probably watched Kevin like a decade ago. Like 2011, 2012.
I remember.
Graduated.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I really used to be at them games.
I still am. I'm still doing that
You
dumb
still be
shit.
going? Okay. All right.
I was in Memphis on Memorial Day. I'm gonna be in Spartanburg, South Carolina, probably right after 4th of July.
Okay.
Oh, so you still getting to
You're
it?
still outside.
Hey, my job don't stop. I still gotta go watch the young guys.
Yeah.
I
like it. I like it.
I saw Jizzle a couple times last year.
There we go.
Really liked what I saw from him. So, that was I mean, I've seen Ray for 3-4 years now. Tyler McKinley, know his game well. So yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot, man. You see all the real, You know what's going on.
What'd you think of Davion, Kevin?
Day-Day.
The new Day-Day. There's a new Day-Day.
I like Chad, I ain't never gonna down a player. I like all players, It's hard, you lose Mike out of Woods and DDJ, It always look good, but I know how the real games go. This ain't this is a different level. So that PG spot, that's an important role. I think he got the abilities though. He can shoot it. I was watching him in shooting drill, probably hit 10, 12 in a row. So I see ability from the shot. He like a lot stronger than what I thought from paper. He didn't got a little bulkier. But Chad, I'm from the land of the big guards. Like shit, I play with a 6'4", 215 point guard. So I don't really know the little, you know what I'm saying? I just support it. If it worked, it worked. Like shoot, make some shots, make some plays. But he got ability. Like that's why I'm like, I see a lot of ability from so many positions. But I do know it's only one ball. It's only 40 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be who's gonna fit in that role, like what role where everybody can really execute. And that's what, when you can't see it in open gym, but I see ability, man. So it's a chance, man.
Troy wasn't 215.
How about 205?
It felt like 215.
You about 215.
That was a good day. That might have been that was our last year. We talking about
My fault.
like that was our senior year after he done been through the trenches with it.
My fault.
I don't even think it was 205. Might have been like 209. We'll give you 5 for the 9.
Yeah, we dropped it.
We're like 210.
My fault.
So
Shaq was like, "Can I borrow 5? Can I get 5?"
Wow, I need about 10. I didn't start gaining weight until my senior year, for real. I ain't gonna lie. Man, I used to.
Bugged out.
Hello.
Dan, what's it like getting to come back and be around with these guys this year? Hopefully.
What up, Dede?
You talking today?
Oh, you say you talking to me? Oh, look, man. Hey, I ain't even gonna lie. It's like a dream come true. Like us three, we talk pretty much every day, and I already told him, like, look, man, whether if I'm playing or if I'm not playing, I'm coming out there because I got to see my brothers, man. I got to see my guys, and Kevin was able to make it happen where he could join me onto the squad. So I'm just real excited to play with my brothers one more time, and we looking to do something big this year, man. We trying to go a little ways, make it past that first round, and get that nasty Nati name back on top.
How's the bunnies? You still got hops, or you getting too old for that shit now?
Oh, nah. They never go nowhere. I got the knees is a little sore here and there, but they don't go nowhere. They don't leave.
Hey, he gonna surprise somebody. Watch.
It's gonna be a lot of surprise
in a game like this.
You made it sound like you're gonna be the Udonis Haslam of this team.
Oh, nah.
Not that
old. They not that old.
Nah, you're gonna be playing now.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm definitely.
Which Udonis Haslam we talking about, though?
Right.
Shit, he can come be that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
the enforcer.
LeBron?
Right.
LeBron.
Yeah, but I'm definitely looking to get active with the guys, man, and rebuild some chemistry that we had a couple years ago.
You were up here last year, weren't you? You were up that week, weren't you?
No, he wasn't here.
Nah.
I remember
That was
seeing
2
you at
years
some
ago.
point.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years
we wasn't
ago,
even in.
right.
Yeah, we wasn't in though.
Yeah.
That's when y'all came up and you were having your fun weekend, the fun reunion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we were just visiting.
Yeah. That wasn't a business trip. That was a personal
We
trip.
always have some fun, man. We gotta enjoy each other, man. Sure, man.
I remember Kev showing up saying he hadn't slept all night.
He like a little hungry. Chewed over with Twix.
He said he slept on the floor or the couch or something that night. Like,
I don't know.
everybody else had a bed. He said, I didn't have a bed.
Yeah, crazy, bro.
I mean, that was the point of that weekend, though. I think, was that the first time you guys have been back together since you left 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And then that's when you guys started talking about it. I was like,
I know.
like the TBT is a young man's game. The first TBT team was not to say anything bad, but those guys were 10 years out of college. Like when you look at the teams that are winning in TBT, it's guys like you guys that are still right in that prime of your career area.
100%.
All right, boys. Kev, you gotta let people know how they can donate. Like, let people know what we got to do.
There we go. So, I want to.
We're doing the same thing as last year.
A little different. So, I want to explain this a little bit to all our fans and all chat listeners. Now that Nasty Natty, we are a nonprofit organization, and this year I brought more calls involved on what we're doing through the game of basketball. So truly, man, we got a goal that we're trying to reach, and I'll put this out on Twitter. You can go spend your money at Ryan Guys. You can go spend your money at Holy Grail. When you go spend your money at Mio's Pizza, ask them for the QR code. They also got them as well. Those are huge supporters of us, so shout out to them. But I'll put this out on social media. Like I said, it's a link. Tap the button very quick. But we do have a goal, and we donate 20% of our revenue this year to a nonprofit organization, Karen Wellington Foundation. They are working with our inner city kids through a program called Saturday Hoop. And they provide a ton of stuff, man. It's been going on for years. They do 4 different locations. One is in Wynn Terrace, Avondale, down at Ziegler Park, and also the West End. And pretty much, man, through the game of basketball is how you enter. It's for any ages. It's a lot of people that don't have a lot of opportunities, which comes from our inner city. And they provide yoga classes, reading classes, all kinds of things to build a better foundation and give some resources to these kids to try to stop the gun violence. So shout out to them. That's a really, really important cause for us this year. You can click the link. It'll explain everything. We got a goal. This is bigger than just us and our team. This is about our Cincinnati community. And we asking for you guys to help us reach that goal. So send this over to Chad. Chad, you can post this through the Bearcats Journal and everything. Literally a click of a button, explain everything. Please, man, we really appreciate if you guys help us reach this goal and do something special, not only for us, but it's actually for our community to continue to make this a better place. So if you're interested also, man, they're willing to you can pop in Ziegler Park on Saturdays from 10 to 12 o'clock. You can pop in as a volunteer. They're really good people. Robbie Wellington, big leader about it. So like I said, Ziegler Park on Saturdays, dope event. We collabing with them. We want to continue to make our community a better place. So yeah, just click this link. Chad will have it. I'll have it on the Nasty Natty site. It'll be on Instagram, which is Nasty Natty TBT, and Facebook. It'll be just about everywhere. So please help us support, and I appreciate you, Chad.
I got you. Dede, your daughter want to host the rest of the show?
I told you she be all over the place. Say hey, everybody.
Hi.
All right.
Love it. All right. Well, I can't wait to see you guys when you get to town, man. I always love chopping it up and catching up with everybody.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Always.
Again, Chad.
I appreciate it, dog. And we'll catch up. I'll be seeing you soon.
Dave,
yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, fellas.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. We'll talk soon.
All right.
There you go.
Right.
Nasty Natty TBT. You can find them on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Everybody get to supporting the crew and getting them to their goal. Like I said, 20% going to a wonderful local charity, local foundation that does a lot of good work. So always good to have those guys in. Always love chopping it up and getting some old stories. And I miss those guys, man. Like that was my crew.
It's a fun group to watch, and it kind of gives you like some old memories of like getting to watch players grow from freshman to senior, which you don't really see a ton of anymore for various reasons. But yeah, I mean, those were a lot of fun memories, a lot of fun, good conversation with them. I thought it was interesting. Kevin's talking about like, what goes into these games. And I think that they, like you said, it's not that they just kind of like showed up and thought it was an exhibition, but he's talking about, how we're going to cover screens and how we're, I kind of feel like they have a much better grasp on what is truly needed to be successful in this tournament this go around compared to last year.
Yeah, I mean, when you do something like this for the first time, and it's an event that's been going on, I think, for 5-6 years now.
Oh yeah, I mean, easy. It feels like it's
You got a bunch of teams that know what it's about and have gone through like that initial stage of like, we were all great college players. We played on highly ranked teams. We made every NCAA tournament we ever, had a chance to qualify for. We're going to show up and we're going to win. And it ain't that easy.
no.
Ed wants to know why Tobes isn't on the team. Tobes works in construction now, not basketball. If you listen, these guys are all playing pretty high level professional basketball around the world. Tobes is building locker rooms, so a little bit different.
Yeah,
a little bit different. So there you go. There's your Cincinnati basketball fix for the day. You want to get to our where do you want to start, Dave?
we got a lot. All of a sudden.
Yeah. Where did you want to start?
I didn't have June 21st as like the we got several things we can discuss. I don't know.
There's like, you got to know by now, it's always something.
Oh, I know, but like this, just in the last couple of days too, there's been, I don't know. Do you want to start with Cruton or Team Ticker Big 12 segment of the week?
Let's do Cruton first, and then we'll do the Team Ticker Big 12 segment of the week following that.
All right.
A couple big, couple important commitments this weekend. Which one has Dave the most excited? Monte Whedon?
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously, because I broke the commitment while I was in an airplane. Flying. I think we were probably over Florida by then, but yeah, I mean, I'm confused how a guy who plays at a pretty well-known program in Washington, D.C. and has offers, like legit offers from Texas, Florida State, Maryland, obviously Cincinnati, and several other teams, is not rated on 247. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how that works, but I really, really like his tape. I should just pull up what I said already about him for anybody that's not on Twitter or the board. I mean, I think I put it on both. But I think he complements Simeon Coleman really well, which is another DC guy. They seem to have started a little bit of a, I won't call it a pipeline, but you have Brian Sims in the 2022 class, who is, I guess, 2023 class, who enrolled early and looked pretty well. I mean, I don't think
I like him. I like him a lot.
He's just there a few months or whatever during spring ball, but he said definitely seemed well put together and on that type of a trajectory. But you kind of developed a little bit of some connections now in the DMV. But I'm confused how he's not rated, but that's neither here nor there. I just think he's a really good pairing. Looking hopefully down the road with Coleman. Coleman is more to me like the true middle linebacker, take on the guard, run stopper, so to speak. And Whedon plays that, but he also plays some edge, and I think he's more of the kind of like some of the linebackers / outside rush guys that Louisville had last year.
Yeah,
he's going to be more of the attacking. Trying to wreak havoc type of linebacker. So I think they work well together.
Kind of what they'll call a will, I guess, in this system.
Yeah.
but I think they're both kind of inside linebackers to me.
Yeah, I mean they are. One is more. I just think Wynn seems to have just more overall athletic ability, more versatility from like you could line him up outside in a 2-point stance, probably passing downs if you wanted to, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good one.
They added an offensive lineman that looks like more of an interior guy, probably projects to an interior guy. I know there's some belief on the staff that he has the length to potentially play tackle. But ultimately, go get as many big guys as you can get. And Jace Mitchell's looks like he fits the part of like an aggressive, kind of pretty mobile offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's the one guy I haven't really gotten to watch yet, but I'll just say, like, given, again, this is not a knock, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Like, whether it's been eval or coaching, the offensive line did not progress the way we all had hoped over the last couple of years. So I'm not really going to be too critical on virtually any offensive line recruit at this point. Like, I'm going to allow time to run its course on a new system, new coaches, and see what develops from that standpoint. I mean, I think they need bigger, more athletic offensive linemen across the board. I don't think that's like a huge secret.
Right.
So, like you said, Louisiana produces a lot of talent. Go down there and get a guy and see what you can do with him.
And then add another safety as well.
Yeah, where are we at now? I'm sorry. Give me a name. Give me a name.
Sabor?
Oh, well, yeah, that one.
Or no?
No, I thought we already.
Yeah, we already did that one. I don't know, man.
I know. I know.
It all runs together. Let's see. Whedon, Mitchell, Sabor.
Should probably be more prepared.
We probably should, but
But yeah, I think I know. I listened.
We're both fresh off a week in Florida.
Well, I think I would have rather been in Florida. That's
where were you?
I was in Jamaica.
Oh, well, that's way better than Florida, other than being at the center of the sun.
It was hot.
You didn't enjoy the Jamaica experience?
It was fine. It was fine. It was a good.
Also
time.
hot
to
in
see
Florida.
a lot of friends. So it was a good trip. I was there for the perfect number of days. We'll just leave it at that. But I think I know you guys talked about it Monday a little bit. I think it was Monday nightcap. There's been a lot of conversation on the board when it comes to like expectations of recruiting as a whole and class ranking and one for me, like class ranking right now, like we're not comparing apples to apples. I mean, I had to send a message to Alan to get Quavo Sabor added to the commit list 5 days after he committed, and he's a high level how many other schools is that happening for? We have 3 guys that don't have composite. So like whether they're an 80 a total team ranking of some number, like at this point I don't care because we don't have all the information. I think it's also important to remember that when Luke first got here, he tried to recruit wide receivers a specific way, and that didn't work. And he was trying to bring a Big Ten model to the AAC, thinking, well, I mean, it's a step down from the Big Ten. I'm sure this will work. And it didn't. So you kind of have not a leap of faith, so to speak. Like, I'm not saying it's not without conversation and not without criticism, but like it's you kind of just have to see what happens, especially with like your first full high school class. Last year's high school class was, I mean, it was cobbled together. You're trying to keep as many guys as you can. So it's very hard for me to have any sort of opinion on that. But for this one in particular, like, there are pieces that I absolutely like. Like, I think they're doing a very good job in the secondary. I really like Cale Woodburn and Dakari Anderson as far as the interior wide receivers. Now they need to go out and get some more guys on the outside, I think, and guys that can be developed, because we know where the wide receiver room is still, they've added pieces, but a lot of it's been transfers. You never know how that's going to pan out. Some of those guys are going to be one-year guys, or you don't want to be put right back in the same situation next year where you're relying on a bunch of transfers. But I think I'm taking more of a wait and see approach. I don't have some number or some position in the national rankings that they need to hit. The conversation about like stars and everything always cracks me up, because I'll take all the stars you want. Like, you can tell me all day long about the Sauce Gardners and Jason Kelsey's, and I'll say like, yeah, that's awesome. And those guys they should be celebrated. But then I will go, well, look at everybody that's winning the national championship. And look at everybody that's competing for the Big 12 championship. Like, we're in the Big 12 now. You're not going to get those special seasons like 2021 with a bunch of dudes that you're waiting to develop in year 3 and 4. Like, you have to raise the floor. You have to get some higher level players. And whether that's 5 stars, 4 stars, a bunch of guys that are right on the fringe of, it doesn't matter to me. But like,
right.
When you talk about, the goal has changed. Like, they clearly were able to win the AAC with development and some high-end, a few high-end guys. The majority of the high-end guys didn't pan out, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
So yes, you always need to be able to find under-recruited players. And you always need to be able to take a guy that's a mid 3-star and has some middle of the road Power 5 conference offers and get him and turn him into a Sauce Gardner. But what is more likely going to happen, Chad? That you're going to do that with like 10 guys a class, or that the teams that get 10 plus 4 and 5 stars a year are the ones vying for a national championship?
So I think here's kind of what stands out to me. I think the conversation is often misguided because there's such a broad range of 3 stars.
There is.
Like, 5 stars is a very specific range.
Yeah, there's like
4
25
stars,
to 30 every year.
I think it's 30. What they do is they 32 because there's 32 first-round picks. So
okay.
That's 24/7's kind of take on 5 stars.
Right.
And then 4 stars, they would like it to go to 247, basically the top 250 kids.
Right.
Or the 225 kids that whatever aren't 5 stars. That does, depending on the year, it can bleed over. But when you're talking about 3 stars, I think if you're consistently living where a large portion of your class is in that high 86 to 88 range, you're not far off from it's not, if you're building a class of 83, 84, 85, which, if we're being honest, is what most of those guys that Fickle turned into a playoff team. But that was also an outlier because they hit so many times in that range,
right,
that it skewed things. I think there's a difference to where 3-star guys, as long as you're dealing with the top of the 3-star range, are still really damn, like, they have the measurables. They have the size, the speed. Like they might not have all of them combined, like the guys at the top, but there's a lot to like about guys that are, 86.5 and up. 86.5 all the way up to 89, which is typically where 4-star starts. So as long as you're landing largely in that spot and you can develop, I think you're in good shape. Now, is that to say you can do it without getting 4 stars? No, that's not to say that. But it's to say you're right in that same – it's like kind of looking at basketball where, like, you got a kid that's like 84. Well, he wasn't a top 75 guy, which is where you want to stay in that top 75 range more often than not. But if you got a guy that's 96, you still got a chance to have gotten a really good player.
Yeah.
And I just think we spend so much time focusing on the star. Is he a 3-star or 4-star or whatever? We don't spend enough time looking at how thin the margin is.
No, I agree.
On where these guys are ranked.
I think a segment, I don't know how big the segment is, but I think a segment of our fan base maybe holds on to the whole like diamond in the rough.
Sure, I agree.
Stars don't matter thing a little too tightly. Because I will just say this, as someone who follows a blue blood. I mean, they've won a national championship in the last 30 years. Tennessee is a blue blood. They've had some lean years, but they've got every resource imaginable. We're in the Big 12 now. We're not going to develop our way to a Big 12 championship. You have to raise the floor, like you're talking about. You have to bring up the floor to where, like, the lowest rated player in your class is in the mid to 85, 86 range.
Right.
And you also have to get some damn dudes. Like, you got to go in and you got to compete with the big boys and you got to pull, a class that was shaping up to be what our class was going to be last year.
Which was what, five or six 4-stars?
6 4-star. I think it was 6 4-stars, and then another 3 guys that were in like that 88 to 4-star range.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like people might not like it. You could tell me about it, but like you're not going to just like diamond in the rough develop your way to a Big 12 championship.
Yeah, and I've got no argument with that. Like, I think that's factually correct. You're not 84 and 85 in your way to success at the highest level in the Big 12. That's just not how it works.
No, Texas is, because we're going to talk about them later. Texas's 2023 class. Now, obviously, we're talking the one of the bluest of the blue bloods, and the athletic department that I think has the biggest budget in the country versus a team just now going into the Big 12. So it's not apples to apples in any sense of the imagination. They have 14 5 and 4 stars in their 2023 class. And they have had similar classes for a long time. And they have not won the Big 12 in I don't even know how long. So
you know why? Because none of those guys have been NFL players.
Well, and they've had some bad coaching and some bad development. So that always is a part of it. But, like, if they're not doing it with the top of the line guys because they haven't been able to develop and because of coaching, there's
definitely not a Texas bump or anything like that. No.
I mean, these dudes are pretty. I mean, I don't think Arch Manning got a bump because he went to Texas.
He might have got a bump because he was Arch Manning.
He's pretty damn good.
There's some conversation on that topic that's out there.
Maybe.
but I don't buy the bump thing. Like, yeah, it happens a little bit, but I mean, I've seen it happen, Dave. I've orchestrated it happening. Like,
yes,
yeah, it happens.
But the bottom line is it doesn't matter because once you get them on campus, none of that shit means anything. And you have to, they're either live up to their hype or you develop them into being a better player.
Right. Well, I think that's where people get caught up in the stars don't matter thing. It's what you do with them when you get them.
They
But
still matter.
the numbers say they still matter. The guys that are winning championships and being drafted at the top of the NFL draft are generally guys that were rated higher than most. Are there outliers? Sure, there are outliers in everything.
Of course, it's not a perfect science. If it was, like, some of these guys wouldn't be going, like, if you knew Sauce Gardner was going to be the number 4 pick in the draft, do you think he would have gone to Cincinnati?
Michigan and Michigan State might have paid a little bit more attention if they were aware of what.
Like,
hey, here's a guy that Alabama, who has the number 1 wide receiver in the country, is going to go, I'm not throwing at him. Nick Saban's like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Well, here,
a little bit more attention.
This is a fun one to do. The 2020 recruiting class.
Yeah.
We'll go through some of these players. Bryce Young was number 1, so he was the number 1 pick in the draft this year. DJ Uiagalelei was number 2. He's still in college, transferred to Oregon State. Brian Brzee, number 3. He was, I think he went in the back end of the first round this year. Julian Fleming at Ohio State wide receiver. He's still in school, likely first round pick. Will Anderson, number 5. He was the 3rd pick in the draft. Gervon Dexter was number 6 out of Florida. He was the 2nd rounder. Keely Ringo was number 7. He dropped to like the 3rd round. Paris Johnson Jr., number 8, 6th pick. Jalen Carter, Georgia, number 9 player in the 2020 class. He was the 13th pick and dropped. Eric Gilbert has had an interesting career. We'll leave it at that. Justin Flo has been injured a bunch. Trenton Simpson went in the 3rd round. Drew Sanders went in the third round. Miles Murphy was 14. The Bengals took him in the 1st round. Jackson Smith and Jigba was 15. He went in the 1st round. Like, they don't miss a ton. Like, you need the dudes. Bijan Robinson was 21st. Michael Mayer was 23rd. Peter Skoronski was 27th. CJ Stroud was 29th. Broderick Jones was 30th. All those guys went in the 1st round. All 5 stars. Now, obviously, there are classes that are not like
and obviously, this. 5 stars, like, those are the physical freaks. The kids that look like juniors in college when they're seniors in high school.
Right. But my point is they still ended up being those players.
Right.
And we need to, whatever the number ends up being, 3 class, 4 class, 6 class, that's going to depend on the success of the program. But they have to raise that expectation. They have to be able to get those type of players moving forward if we want to win Big 12 championships, which I think everybody does.
Yeah, the mission here is not to compete, right? The mission here is to do what Cincinnati has done in the Big East, what they've done in the American, and that's win the league.
Yeah.
And to do that, you have to recruit at a high level. That's not a shock.
With Texas and Oklahoma leaving, like they're behind the 8 ball in areas versus some of the remaining teams, but they're well ahead of some of the remaining teams as well, like based on recruiting ground and just stuff, a bunch of other things. Like they're well positioned to be competitive and make an effort to win the league. I just think you got to, however you do it. I know the portal's a much bigger thing now, so that's going to play into it, but you can't become a portal program. It's never going to work. You're never going to get the buy-in. You're never going to get the consistency. And I don't necessarily think that's the goal. I mean, that was what needed to be done this year, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if we see 20 plus.
No, I mean, they already have 13 commits. I think might be 1 or 2 out there that have not announced yet. So, I mean, if you've already got, say, 15 high school commits, you're going to add a few more. Like, you're not going to need to take some 20-something more portal guys.
Right. It's going to be an interesting storyline to continue to watch develop, right?
For sure.
That's the key.
I mean,
All right, you want to get
they had
to
a couple defensive linemen. What?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, they had a couple defensive linemen. It looks like on campus today in the 2024 class. One that earned an offer, Marquese Parker from West Memphis, Arkansas, defensive lineman. We list him at 6'3", 250. I watched. This is where, like, the just not. Okay, so I watched his tape, and he is unrated, doesn't have a ranking. He has 5 offers. I think Memphis is the best one.
Yeah.
I watched his tape, and then I also watched Ealer from Chicago, Simeon, who was on campus today, but his tweet was very vague. Like, I don't know if he was just visiting, if he has an offer, if he was camping, if it was an official visit, unofficial, whatever. Watched his tape. Very, very similar player. He's rated an 85 and has like 20 offers, half of which are from Power 5 schools. And I think I like the other, outside of Beeler's get off, like initial get off, I think is better. I think I like the other guy's tape more, who they offered today.
Yeah.
I have a good amount of faith and trust in Walt with both his eye for what he wants and also what he's been able to do from a developmental standpoint. I think they need an influx of defensive linemen. I don't think, if Dante plays the way we hope he plays, it's hard for me to imagine him back next year. Briggs is gone. Van's gone. Kresiak is gone. They need more defensive linemen. So I know that NC State is after Garrison Butler pretty hard, so that's one to watch in this class. So it makes sense that they're still looking, but there's two guys in this class that they're looking at, and then Traymar Harris, a wide receiver from Winton Woods, which I kind of laugh about, put out a top 5 today that UC was involved in. I did like his graphic that had bags of money on it. Along with Purdue.
Was Kentucky also involved?
No, they're not.
Wow.
Purdue.
Super
Indiana,
sleeper.
Yeah, Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State, and Liberty, which is that's a funny one with bags of money. For a totally different reason. But I mean, I'm not sure how to read this one. I think he was at Indiana last weekend, and our site claims that he's somehow going to visit Michigan State and Purdue this weekend at the same time. I'm not sure how that'll work. I don't think he's officially visited UC. So I'm not really sure how much stock to put into that. And we all know the trials and tribulations that the Bearcats have had recruiting and getting players to actually enroll from Winton Woods High School.
No comment.
That is 2024 recruiting. 2025 recruiting, they had a camp today that I would say had a heavy 2025, or I'm sorry, local flair.
Local, yeah.
There were guys
It's
in
not
all
like kind of the local deal.
Yeah, there was guys in all classes, 24, 25, and actually 26 there. Some of the headliners were, excuse me, I was going to burp. Withrow, wide receiver Quentin Simmons in 2025. He's top 15 Ohio guy, already has a UC offer. 2025 Taft, offensive defensive lineman Drayden Pavey, top 30 guy, has an offer. He seems like a kid that might want to, could be an early commit for the 25 class. He's been on campus a bunch, seems to have an interest in staying home. And then 2026, Lakota West linebacker athlete Cam Thomas. He's already got a Georgia Tech offer and some MAC offers. I think he's going to be a high-level recruit. Him and Pavey apparently are good to very good friends. So they were taking pictures today together. See how that goes. Obviously, 2026 is a long way away. Grant Bierman, linebacker, Westchester, Ohio, Lakota West, offered today in the 2025 class. And then also offered today after the camp that I've seen so far is Eric Gale, a 2025 Withrow defensive end. Matt asks, is the local talent better in 2025? It's hard for me to say. I haven't seen really any of these guys play football. You can only really go off the rankings. It's not there at the top. Like, I think there's only one or two Cincinnati guys in the top 10 or 12, but there are a bunch, excuse me, in that 15 to 30 range where that's not really the case in the 24 class. I think the 25 class overall is probably from 1 to say 40 or 50. Now, this is going to change greatly. I mean, we're talking about sophomores in high school, to be juniors. So it's going to change, but I think the 2025 class is probably deeper in the greater Cincinnati-Dayton area than the 24 class, and I think that benefits UC because we want the coaches to hit the ground running locally. It's just a hard thing to do, man. I mean, you guys talked about it. Luke was a unicorn. You don't see coaches that coach in the same state their entire life, coach 2 programs in the same state. And when they move from one to the other, they just put on a different polo and walk right back in to the office of the guy that they've known for 10 years.
Yeah. Like was liked by everybody.
Like nothing. Like literally, he was coaching at Ohio State on Monday. He could go to Bishop, whatever, high school in Columbus on Tuesday with an Ohio State polo, and then go in there on Wednesday with a UC polo. Like it's just not. You just don't see that. Like this staff, these guys were not going to come in after getting hired in December, trying to keep the 23 class together, trying to get transfers to make the 23 team competitive, and also then be like, hey, all you 2024 guys that we haven't been recruiting yet, now we're going to start recruiting you, and we want you to come here. Like it's not all doable. Like we like to think that they work 100 hours a week and they can just do it all. It's not all doable.
They do work 100 hours a week, and it's still not all doable. Like that's you wouldn't believe the stories I've heard on like what work-life balance looks like for college coaches with the transfer portal now. Like
that's why more and more of them are going to the NFL. You just coach football,
or just getting out of college sports. Like I'm done. I'm good. I can't fucking do this every day, all day, every day, morning, noon, and night. Don't get to see my family. Don't know I forgot 2 of my kids' names.
Yeah. So I don't think not getting commits in the 24 class from Ohio is an indication of them like not focusing on it. Like, yeah, where are you gonna go? We've talked about this before. Like when you're new somewhere or you're in the coaching world, like you're going to go where it's easy for you, where you have the relationship. Like any of us would do that.
Right.
If I have a relationship in Georgia with a guy that I've known for 10 years and I've had 5 of his players play for me and they've all, like 3 of them have been uber successful, am I going to go to Atlanta and talk to him, or am I going to drive to Cleveland and introduce myself to a guy that I've never met before when I'm first on the job?
That has Purdue, Michigan State,
and they've been there all the time.
Yeah,
like those relationships obviously have to happen. They can't have. They can't not happen in UC be successful. That's not what I'm saying. But like,
Right.
they're the 25 class. I'll have criticisms in the 2025 class if we're at like, we signed 23 dudes and 5 of them are from Ohio
Right.
and 3 of them are from Cincinnati. Like, I'll have criticisms then. I just don't really see a point in it right now.
Right.
Plus, the dudes they're getting from Georgia are dudes. So, like,
yeah. There's definitely some validity to look. Like, we're going and getting top 75, top 100 level guys from Georgia. That's important. So,
yeah, I think we'll see where it goes. I don't know. You and I didn't talk today. I don't know if you've talked to anybody there. Like, there isn't they can have visitors this weekend. I'm not sure if. I mean, they did have the how do we even pronounce their name? The Twins. I'm just call them the Twins.
the Twins. Yeah, the
From
Twins.
Chuck and what's the other one? From CHCA.
Yeah.
The last couple of days for an official visit, 2 offensive linemen. That would be huge. I think they're pretty. No, I shouldn't say this. This is speculation. They had been thought to be pretty heavy Michigan State leans, and they are supposed to be visiting there this weekend. I get the sense that based on some misses on Michigan State's standpoint, that they will, if they still attend to visit, and I would expect them to, that they will get a big push to become Spartans. So we'll see how that goes. But one's more of a tackle, one's more of a guard. Like we just said, I'll gladly take them both. The Bearcats need some offensive linemen, some highly sought after ones, and I think both of those would be excellent additions if they could make that happen.
Yes, it would be nice.
Do you know if they're having any visitors this weekend?
I have not heard of any yet. That's not to say that they're not. I just have not heard.
Right,
of
you're
it yet.
just. It's not a question that we've asked yet.
Yeah. No, I just haven't. I don't know.
You have not gotten an answer.
I have not been told this is the visitor list for the weekend yet.
Gotcha.
So that's not to say that there won't be, just that I don't have that info yet. Usually you get a pretty good feel by where we're at now on Wednesday. But a lot, there's also everybody's trying to squeeze in, these last little sets of visits. So
yeah,
if we get word that there are, obviously it'll be on the board immediately.
Obviously. Oh, also real quickly, 2024 safety visited. I don't think, did he visit this past week or the week before? I can't remember. Rodarius Red Morgan put out a top 6. This is some company. You want to hear this one?
Sure.
Alabama, Auburn, the U.
Okay.
Mississippi State, Florida State, Cincinnati Bearcats.
Uh-huh.
Now, obviously, none of that means anything if you don't get them. But, so, we'll see how that goes. Has been in for a visit, so, best of luck to make it happen.
All right. Are we good on recruiting?
I think so. We had a lot come up the last couple days.
That is for sure. For sure. All right. Let's get to the team ticker Big 12 preview of the week. It is brought to you by Team Ticker, the one-of-a-kind sports sign for Bearcat fans. Thank you to everybody that got your Team Ticker for Father's Day. I know they had a big spike in sales, and a lot of that was the Bearcat Journal community. So I hope all of you are getting your Father's Day Team Ticker on the wall. And it's outstanding. So if you don't have it yet, make sure you do. It's a local company started by 2 UC alumni. It's easy to hang with the provided hanging kit. If you're looking for the perfect addition to your man cave or a gift for that special Bearcats fan, go to teamticker.com. Pick up your Team Ticker today. It's got a high-tech retro-looking display, free daily updates of the latest news, stats, schedules, betting odds, and more. They're officially licensed through the Collegiate Licensing Company and manufactured here in Ohio. I know, Dave, sometimes I walk into the room and it's on, and I see the info that's up there, and I'm like, hey, will you guys chill? They're coming to Bearcat Journal for that information. Relax. You don't have to give them everything on the Team Ticker.
Can we get them to put since they're our sponsors, can we get them to put our Twitter handles? Will those flash up there?
We could probably arrange that.
Make sure to check out Bearcat Journal. Yeah.
Yeah. Get a little beast. I mean, it's like 6 minutes of stuff. I bet we can make that happen.
That'd be fun.
All right. So we didn't have a guest this week because we had the TBT guys. It's really difficult to do a show with 2 guests because they go even too long for me.
Yeah, I'm good.
So we're going to take a look at a team that Cincinnati doesn't play this year. And I'll let Dave take it away with a preview of the Texas Longhorns.
They're back. Hook 'em. Texas is back.
Horns down? Is that what we do in the Big 12? We do horns down?
Apparently, but I think you get fined or penalized if you do that. What if you're not playing Texas and you score and you do horns down?
You probably
do you still get penalized? That's what every other team should do. With them in Oklahoma leaving, no matter who's playing who, when you score, you're everybody's celebration is horns down.
I mean, I'm down with it. I don't mind it.
Texas is back. And if they're not back this year, they'll never be back. Because they're pretty damn loaded, and they are going to a much tougher conference. I'm glad the Longhorns are not on the Bearcats' schedule this year.
But they lost their stud running back.
They lost both their
stud running backs. Yeah, it's not going to be just an easy. Texas is going to be incredible.
No, because they never are. At least they haven't been recently. But
right,
you mentioned that they lost Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson. They also bring back 16 starters.
That's a lot of starters.
It is.
They had a pretty good year.
So they bring back 16 starters. They're preseason number 9 in SP Plus. Obviously, Quinn Ewers is the headliner. He's back. When he was healthy last year, he was pretty damn good. Like you mentioned, they lose Bijan and Roschon. Have one back that's kind of been waiting in the wings, and then 5-star true freshman CJ Baxter should get some damn action because he's a bad mother. At running back as well. Their wide receiver room is loaded. Xavier Worthy, Jordan Whittington, Isaiah Nair, A.D. Mitchell transferred in from Georgia. They're not deplete of receivers. They return all 5 starting offensive linemen, including Kelvin Banks, who was a freshman All-American last year. They did lose 20 transfers. 3 of which were along the offensive line as kind of rotational guys, so their depth could be challenged if there's some injuries. Defensively, Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy are 2 of the best interior guys in the league, along with the Godfather. At linebacker, they do have to replace Demarvion Overshown, who was kind of like their heart and soul, main guy in the middle. But again, they just got dudes ready to step in. We'll see how that goes. Jalen Ford, and then true freshman again, Anthony Hill at linebacker. So you got Hill and Baxter, probably the 5-star true freshmen that they're kind of expecting to play a good amount. I think corner could be a concern, not like on a level that it's terrible, but just they brought in a transfer from Wake Forest, and they're just younger there. And then safety, they just decided, let's bring in Jalen Catalon from Arkansas, who is a freshman first-team All-American. Now he has battled like 3 straight years of injuries. So if he plays all 12 games, I'll be surprised. I mean, he got hurt in the first game last year against UC. So We'll see how that goes. Like this shows you, again, though, this is where we go back to talking about recruiting. And yes, you want the stars and all that, but you still need to develop them because 7 departed players are currently on an NFL roster from last year. I think UC might have double that. That are, maybe not 14, but double digits. I don't think is out of the realm to say that, like, without knowing them all off the top of my head, whether it's draft picks or free agent guys that are waiting to go into training camp. So, like, they had talent, but it wasn't developed when you only get seven guys on NFL rosters right now. Their big games are at Bama week 2, obviously Red River against Oklahoma, and then they have Kansas State and Tech at home, and they're at TCU. If they don't make the Big 12 championship game, it's a massive, massive disappointing season.
Who would you say is their main, like, who do you expect to be their main competition for one of those spots?
Them, Oklahoma. I think there's like 5. I would say 5 teams are kind of like, without knowing a ton about all of them yet, I would say Texas, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Kansas State, and TCU. Those are the 5 that today I would be like, if one or none of those teams make the championship game, I'll be pretty surprised. I mean, that's almost, that's a third of the league. It's 5 teams. I'm not exactly throwing out like 2 teams, that are definitively favorites. But like, I mean, for God's sakes, if they can't make it this year, when they have 16 starters back and an entire offensive line returning, and they're 6-7 deep at receiver, and 4 and 5 stars dotting every single starting position. Like, when you're playing, your other Big 12 games are Baylor, Kansas, Houston, BYU, TCU, or Baylor, Kansas, Houston, BYU, and Iowa State. Like,
right,
you have to go 8-1, 7-2, and make the championship game. Like, there's no excuse not to. I mean, maybe 9-0. Like, we everyone jokes about Texas is back, but like, if they're not this year, then good luck next year.
When are they going to be, right?
But
I feel you.
I mean, I think Sark is a really good coach. Like, I mean, he does a lot of very, very creative stuff offensively. And yes, it will be something to have to do it without, who I thought was the best, just pure football player in college football last year in Bijan Robinson. But like I said, I mean, you got all these dudes back on offense. Like, you really shouldn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So, but again, I'm glad we don't have to play him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where,
right?
Well, it's like
just not. We're just not at that point yet. We're ready to go toe to toe with a roster like that.
It's kind of like Cincinnati in the American for most of the last 5 years. Like, they were just better than everybody they played except 2 or 3 teams.
Yep.
If you were Tulsane talking about going to play Cincinnati had more talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Texas is at the moment. All right, there you go. That's your team ticker. Talking Big 12. We got to workshop what we're going to call this, because we got like what we've done 2. We got 11 more to do.
Do we have
team ticker?
11 more?
The team ticker 12.
But it's 14.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, the team ticker 12. I think it fits. It just, it doesn't sit well with me because we're talking 13 teams.
I hope we can get them all in.
Yeah. Oh, damn it, I had an email while I was gone that I need to find, Dave, because
What's next on the show rundown?
Well, I just wanted to get this on your might be too late, unfortunately. 24/7 wanted a Big 12 like media day type thing from us.
Oh, okay.
That we're supposed to do, pick the order of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Things of that nature that, we usually
That we obviously
do those.
missed.
Oh, here we go. Predicted Big 12 order of finish: Big 12 champion, Big 12 player of the year, Big 12 offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, coach of the year, game of the year, and one big prediction. The deadline is Wednesday, July 5th. So we can do this next week on the show. This could be our Talking 12, the team ticker Talking 12. So that way it doesn't have to be a team preview. But I say next week we come up with our predicted order of finish, champion, player of the year, offensive and defensive, and coach of the year, game of the year, and one big prediction.
I don't know the players well enough to be like, oh yeah, this guy's defensive player of the year. I'm gonna have to actually.
Well, yeah, that's why it's fun to do it on air.
Quinn Ewers, offensive player of the year, easy.
Defensive player of the year, just go find the returning guy that had the most sacks last year, right?
Dante Corleone.
There we go. Highest rated defensive player in the Big 12 coming into the season.
See, we're already halfway there.
Yeah. I mean, we can do it right now.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. What else you got? You got anything else on the plate? You got any conference expansion you want to hit on?
Oh, man. It's got a fun. I mean, the San Diego State stuff is pretty hilarious.
That is, so explain to the people.
So
they half-ass withdrew from the Mountain West.
Not according to them.
Well, according to the Mountain West, they did.
Well, yes, because they followed the bylaws
to withdraw from the conference.
So yeah, basically, San Diego State sent a letter to the Mountain West, the conference as a whole, and the 11 other presidents, basically asking for, or basically telling them, we intend to withdraw from the conference, but we would like an extension on time. We would like to have a conversation based on, can we make this payment over a period of time, installments, whatnot, and something else. And the Mountain West took that as, okay, we're going to start drafting up your withdrawal papers, because the bylaws say that when you withdraw from the conference, you send that to the conference and the 11 presidents, and that's what you did. And San Diego State's like, no. We just wanted to have the conversation about withdrawing and see if we can do these other things. And the Mountain West basically, looked at them and went, no. Which, why would they not? So, because San Diego State does not have any sort of an offer from the Pac-12, because how could they when the Pac-12 does not have a new media rights deal? And they've been consistent in saying, like, we're going to do the media rights deal, then talk expansion. Well, San Diego State has a deadline of June 30th to withdraw for the 2024 season, where they would only owe $17 million. That's why they're trying to get this month extension, because there's no way in hell, even if the Pac-12 agreed to a deal tomorrow, that they're going to agree to the deal, do all the stuff on there and that they need to do, sign a grant of rights or whatever the hell they're going to do, and then also invite San Diego State before June 30th.
Right.
And San Diego State's not going to go to the conference, even if they might, if they invite him without knowing what the hell the TV deal is. Because what, are they going to go to the conference and the TV deal sucks and half the conference leaves? I mean, I guess it might still be better than the Mountain West, but it's just a very much like a, hey, honey, like, I think I'm going to move in with this other person, but I need 30 days for them to, like, tell their significant other that they're also going to be leaving. But if they don't do it, then I'm going to come back.
Right. That's
So
like, what did they expect? The Mountain
Right.
West, like, what? I don't get what they expect the Mountain West response.
I don't
to
know, like,
be.
what they thought because we went to the national championship game in basketball this year that you were going to just be like, oh yeah, just do whatever you want. Like, they don't get the tournament credits. The conference, those are the conferences. And if you take the tournament credits plus the $17 million in exit fee money, like, is San Diego State worth more than that to the conference?
Right.
Where they're going to be like, oh yeah, look, we'll do this. We'll give you an extra 30 days, and then we'll negotiate the buyout or the leave money down, and we'll do it. Like, no, why would they do that? Why would they think? I mean, why would? It's just a dumb, unorganized plan. Like, why didn't you just, president, call the commissioner and be like, here's what we want to do? Or is any of this agreeable to you? No, it's not? Okay, then this will just stay between me and you.
Right.
It seems so idiotic. But anyway, that's kind of where they sit. Obviously, the Pac-12 still does not have a deal. Today is 1 month from Pac-12 Media Days.
They
Like,
get to media days without a deal. Good
$100,
Lord,
like
man.
$100. Oh, like, do you think they'll have one?
There's nothing that suggests that they will.
I know.
There's
Like-
nothing that suggests they're in, like, the final stages.
Somebody, like, will they get one? Sure, probably. But, like, who is going to give? Like, that's the thing, is, like, they can say that they're confident and they're close all they want, but, like,
They've been saying
Okay.
that for a year.
right? Who is the entity that's giving this
Right.
to you?
We know it, like, if it's ESPN, it is at a drastically reduced rate.
And if it's Apple, it's all streaming.
It's not Fox. It's not NBC.
Fox
it's not
would be in the
CBS.
same. I'm not going to count any of them out 100%, but Fox, ESPN, CBS, NBC, whoever, they're all in the same boat. Yeah, we'll take
Well-
it for nickels.
The reason I'm less the reason I don't see Fox is Fox doesn't have the bandwidth, I guess is the right, but, like, they don't have the outlets that ESPN does.
Right.
ESPN could still get a lower valued Pac-12 deal and have places to put them.
Yeah,
Fox
it's called-
doesn't have that.
Called ESPN Plus.
Well, but I mean, even just ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, like ABC, like, ESPN has, even before you add in ESPN Plus, ESPN has a lot of, different places that they could
Yeah.
put things that Fox, it's basically just Fox and FS1 and I guess FS2, but, like, so few
Yeah.
people have FS2. Like that would be FS2 is akin to like ESPN Classic.
Yeah, it's right. And Jason Shear from the Arizona 247 site. I mean, he's talked a little bit that like rumors like 22.5, but he's like, I mean, it's a rumor because who's giving it? Who's giving that money? And there's some stuff in the Pac-12 that I don't even know if it correlates to the Big 12. Like that 22, say it's 22.5 million.
Yeah.
Well, previously the Pac-12 took a share. So it was really the Pac-13. The office took a share. So is the 22.5 million counting them taking a share or not counting them taking a share? Because if it's not, then it's even less. Right. Is the 22.5 million counting the Comcast overpayment or is it not? Because that's $70 million less.
Right.
Total. And that's not a ton when you're talking about $1 billion contract, and that's, $8 million a team or whatever. But like there's questions there. Like, I don't know if the Big 12 takes a share of the media rights deal. Like, I haven't seen it. I have no idea. But like, I just keep thinking of like, if someone truly wanted your product, they would have bought it by now.
Right. And everybody keeps looking at it. They keep picking it up off the shelf and then they put it back.
Yeah, they keep going like, I don't really need this for this price.
Right.
We all do that. We want to go buy something. But then when we see it and we see the price associated with it, we're like, do I really need it?
I almost did that at Penn Station today, Dave. Have you seen how much a regular cheesesteak is from Penn Station now?
A cookie? I don't know. I had one a couple days ago.
$14. No
Inflation,
fries.
Man. Inflation.
No fries. No drink.
I think your Penn Station's ripping me off because I got 2 regular sandwiches for $22.
It might have changed. Why it went up Monday? Because the last time I went, it was not $14 for a regular sub.
Well, then it would have gone down because I got them for like 11.
Like,
but yeah, I mean, like if ESPN wanted it, they'd be like, okay, this isn't exactly how much we want to pay, but like we want it, and
we're in the ballpark, right?
And we're close enough, so we'll pay you. So, but clearly that's not what's happening. Like they're saying, like you want us to pay you 20, and we want to pay you 8.
Right.
Like we're not going to bridge that gap.
Without USC and UCLA, we value you like the American.
Without that.
Yeah, we value you like the American.
So, like, I mean, abject disaster. I don't know what other way to put it. If they go to media days without a TV deal.
Boy, oh boy.
I might, on my own dime, if this happens, fly to Vegas, ask for, like, we should file for a credential, fly to Vegas just so I can stand up and say, oh, yes, Mr. Kleofkoff, David Smith with Bearcat Journal. I just wanted to know if you were still thinking about shopping at the Big 12 aisle. Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Kleofkoff, can you afford the Big 12 aisle?
We're a month and 10 days away from the year anniversary of him saying that.
I know.
Getting on his high horse and blah, blah, blah. Brett Yormark won't outdo me. I'm going to say something funny about how we haven't decided if we're going to go take any Big 12 teams. Yeah. How's that looking now? Smart guy.
Also, it's a lesson in how not to do things based on the Big 12 or the Pac-12 having every opportunity to kill the Big 12 3 years ago, whatever it was.
You could have a whole PR class in college about how he fucked up.
Yeah. And like a 300 level, not a 100 level, a 300 level class on how he fucked up.
But yeah, I just want to
I've just been burning on the Penn Station thing since lunch today. I stopped at Penn Station to get Taryn and I sandwiches before the show. and it was $14 a sandwich.
So did you get one for Taryn?
Still, yeah, I did. Of course I did.
Cookie.
Of course I got the cookie. It was $34 for 2 sandwiches, 2 fries, and a cookie.
Bro, that's a $4 cookie.
It is a great cookie.
Their fry prices are more outrageous than the sandwich price. Like, dude, you're just frying some potatoes. You don't need to hit me for $6.99 for like a medium fry.
Well, and they cut them right there, like right in front of you. They cut the 14-cent potato, put it in the oil right next to you, and then charge you $6 for it.
You're not a golfer, but the dude that founded Penn Station has an insane house thanks to his $14 sandwiches on golf course out east of where I live that I played last year. They have real bison on the course. Like they're in a pen, but they have actual like buffalo on the course.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, I think
T-Mac says you'd get ran out of that convention center if you asked a question like that, Dave.
I don't know. I think everybody would be laughing hysterically.
Oh, it'd be great.
At least all the other media people from representing the other schools would think it would
the Johns would not be happy.
Oh well, the Johns haven't been right about a lot for the last year, so I'm not sure they have much of a leg to stand on.
Have they been right about anything?
I mean, I've lost track at this point. I mean, they've said my spidey sense tells me. I think that was in March. They've said, I'm hearing we're only weeks away. Everybody remembers that unity statement where they were going to consummate the deal that supposedly all the presidents put out. I mean, that was how many? 6 months ago?
Yeah.
5-6 months ago? Like,
they haven't hit on anything.
I just want it to be done so someone can be made fun of.
Right. It's going to be George Kliakoff, but, All right. You got anything else?
I don't think so. Is there any basketball?
Travis Perry, 4-star guard from Kentucky, plays with Indiana Elite. Started his official visit to Cincinnati tonight, Dave.
Oh, okay.
So Travis Perry is in town on an official visit. I put that one on the board at the beginning of the show. So
when does Kerr Kriisa commit?
I think there was a picture of him on Instagram at a car dealership today in Morgantown.
I mean, who doesn't mean someone at UC didn't buy him the car?
That probably does mean that's not how it went down. If he was a Jeff Weiler, like if he took a picture of Jeff Weiler today, he would have a lot.
They already paid him like $1 million.
We don't know. Like, how was the contract structured? What was the pay? Like, how much payment has he already gotten?
He just got the Michael Jordan car on top of the deal from Air.
Yeah. Well, they're hiring AK because of course they are.
Gonna be a run on Coors Lights in Morgantown, baby.
But
are they really hiring AK?
That's the rumor that AK.
I would love it. I love that. I love that guy. Yeah. I hope they do.
One of my funniest AAU moments was sitting with him and Mick, and Mick was watching a big kid that UC was recruiting that didn't go to UC. That on the other team, AK was there as the head coach at Ole Miss, watching Devin Booker as a sophomore playing against 17-year-olds, playing against seniors, and he scored like 57 points. And by the time he got to 40,
and Mick was like, "Why are you still here?"
By the time he got to 40, AK was like, this is fucking worthless. Like, this is pointless. This kid's going wherever the hell he wants to go, and it's not Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And with each made three, his shoulders like dropped a little bit.
He just keeps like scooting further and further back in his chair, like.
But like AK's funny, so like his
Oh,
commentary
absolutely.
as it was happening throughout.
Like we
was
all
just
know,
like-
he got a raw he got a raw
Yeah.
deal, but like he was always, I liked him. He's a good dude. Like he's got a great personality. He doesn't take
Yeah.
it too serious. Like that would be great for the UC West Virginia if he got the job.
If AK was the head coach,
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen. Which I would guess, if AK is the coach, most of that will stay together because Bob will essentially still be.
I mean,
heavily
shit,
involved.
you got something like that happen in the middle of June and you're able to get him as your head coach, like you could do a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah. And like, you think Bob's not like, hire Andy.
Yeah.
Hire Andy. Like, it's fun. Just do the right thing and hire AK. So, yeah. There, like I said on the boards, there are connections. From what I know, Kurt Carissa is pretty good friends with Seamus Lukosius. Drew Adams knows everybody, so he's got connections. If he does enter the transfer portal, I don't know where, how the NIL budget, what it is, if it's unlimited, if it's like spend what you got to spend. But I somehow, if he's on the market, I expect UC to be a player. Can they afford it? My personal opinion is I don't think so. But I can't say that for certain because I continue to hear from people that if he hits the market, that Cincinnati will be a factor. So,
yeah,
we'll see. That's what I've got right now. I don't have a whole lot more than that on that situation.
But
But
we kind of buried the lead on the Travis Perry thing, though. Like, taking an official now, does that mean that UC is in a top group? What does that mean from a? I'm not really too in depth knowing like
I don't
basketball
think
officials right now.
I don't expect him to make a decision until probably August, September. I do think there's a very good chance. Like, that's the kind of thing that like you have to figure out the semantics. Like, he lives just down. He's like 2 hours away from 3 hours away from just coming to campus on his own. So you can do an official visit in July or June, July, and he can still come up for a football game and do everything that you would do on an official visit, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to pay for dinner. Like, that's he's not flying to Cincinnati from Lyon County, Kentucky. Like, but you're going to drive to Lexington and take a 27-minute flight to Cincinnati. So you can do something like a summer official visit with a guy like Travis Perry and still bring him back if you have a big official, like if the Oklahoma weekend.
Does he have a group of schools he's kind of focused on, or are we not even there yet?
Like there's Kentucky is, obviously still heavily involved. Notre Dame, Purdue, Michigan, Vanderbilt. It's a high level group of schools in the 300-mile radius or whatever you want to call it.
Was there basketball last week while you were in Florida?
There was high school events.
Oh, okay.
So, like high school showcases. That's what June has become now. I think coaches are actually back out this weekend for more high school showcases. And then right after 4th of July, then the July AAU.
So kind of
opens back up.
the board as far as like outside of Tyler, 2024 will probably come into more focus.
I think it's pretty much, there's a lot of focus to it. I mean,
yeah,
you
always have those guys that you've kind of been keeping an eye on. That then they have another session that they play well, and you're like, all right, we need to,
like there's a guy that they just offered, Brett Stein has an article up on the Bearcat basketball message board. Jason Nathaniel, who's a guy that's had a good spring, had a good opening to June. Like, if he continues playing the way he does, he has, you could see him blow up.
Yeah.
going through July. So Cincinnati went ahead and jumped threw their hat in the ring. If you want to see more about him, go to Bearcat Journal. So yeah, there's some.
Do you think in your discussion, I don't know if you're even allowed to say it, like, have they developed kind of like a hierarchy of what they consider like our maybe top 3, regardless of position, or are we not there
Jace
yet?
Richardson is up there. Flory is up there. Obviously,
Flory
Flory's
was
right
an
now.
obvious one, but
Jace Richardson is, from my perspective, their top guard target.
mhm.
Tyler Perry is right there. It'll be interesting with Jasper Johnson. There's been some talk of him reclassifying. If he reclassifies,
what would that
24.
be to?
He's
24.
a 25.
Okay.
He could move up to 24. I think he's a 5-star from what I've seen of him. As I talked about with Aaron, he scored 12 points in a minute and a half in a game. I think that's good.
I do too.
I think any guy that on 4 possessions score 12 points, that is maximum efficiency. But then he went to Pangos and he kicked ass and he was really good at like some USA basketball. Like everything he's touched, he's turned to gold so far.
Is he a combo too?
Combo. He plays.
So you could take, if they were so lucky, they could take him with Jace or Travis.
Yeah. Like they all 3 have some on-ball, off-ball skill.
Yeah.
Travis probably like the best 3-point shooter of the bunch. Although Jasper's pretty damn elite at shooting the 3 as well. And then Jace being more of like the consummate point guard.
Yeah. Jasper's basically like, if Kentucky goes, they get him, but UC's right there.
I think so, yeah.
If they don't.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on him. But UC has done a great job recruiting him.
Mm-hmm. And would be we talk state of Cincinnati and 300-mile radius a lot for football, but you probably need to talk about it more for basketball as well. I mean, if you're recruiting kids, the top echelon kids in Kentucky that, for whatever reason, maybe they don't go to Kentucky, it's not, they could very well like to still play in a pseudo, home type situation.
Right. So
Western dudes definitely seem to be upping the targets.
They just they're recruiting good players, really good players, not players that they think might eventually be good, but players that are already good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that strategy.
I think it could be a winning strategy.
Recruit the players that are already good.
Players that are already good.
Write that down.
More teams should do that.
Yeah. I think that's,
It goes real nice hand in hand with the make shots offense.
Yeah. Make shots and recruit players
If you recruit the players that are already good,
you have a better chance of running the make shots.
You're going to probably run the make shots offense at a higher efficiency.
I agree. I'm right there with you, Dave.
Someone should hire me to be a basketball recruiting person.
That you could be like director of operations with philosophies like that.
I know. It's not hard.
No. All right, there you go. We'll see you next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about at the nightcap, but we'll have something. This is the BCJ podcast brought to you by the Holy Grail right here on BearcatJournal.com.